Welcome to this edition of Best of the Best, where we interview the world's leaders in healthcare, politics, sports, and business while sharing their secrets to success. Now here's your host, Dr. J. Murray Hawkins.
All right, so Dan Rodimer is a business owner, law school graduate, and former WWE wrestler running for Congress in the Texas 6th Congressional District. Since launching his campaign, he's received a lot of media attention and has since used that attention to spread the populist pro-America message that he thinks North Texans will endorse in the special election on May 1st. And he also is the father of 6 beautiful children. Big Dan, welcome to Best of the Best.
Thank you very, very much. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, man, it's nice to see you. So first thing is, let's talk about this because this is something I'm really pissed about. Is this whole freaking swamp crap going on in D.C. I know that's why you're running to go in there and kind of kick out the swamp. So talk about, how do we get rid of that swamp? What's that mean to you?
President Trump talked about it at CPAC about a month ago. He said it comes down to a backbone. We need candidates to go up there that have a backbone, that will, stand on the courage of their convictions, that won't take the swamp or the establishment, won't let them push them around. And we don't have that. There's a few folks out there that are up there that will stand tall and will fight, but you have a lot of candidates that go up there and they get into Congress and then they start to slowly fizz away. And we got to have fighters, and we got to have big voices that are able to push that message across.
Yeah, I think, again, President Trump, definitely did a great job of that. He went in there, totally untraditional and just kind of rocked a lot of the boats, ruffled some feathers. But guess what? He got a lot of crap done while he was there, and so he tried to get rid of that swamp as much as possible. So here's something for you. 2 words. Let's talk about swamp. 2 words for you. Nancy Pelosi.
I got 1 word. Fired.
Gosh. Please. I think everybody's watching this who's from Texas. I think they agree with that. She's been there long enough. There's many more on her level that need to go. They need some fresh, young faces that have some ideas, that have a backbone, like you said, because that's what's missing. We get these vanilla toast people going up there that now that they're in, they don't want to rock the boat. They're not worried about, doing what the voters elected them for. Now they're worried about getting reelected. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, right? So I'm sensing from you, and that's why I wanted you on the show. That's not you. I don't think that's your personality. You're a fighter. You want to go up there and kind of knock some heads where it needs to be knocked and kind of change some things for the better, especially for Texas. We got to keep some things in Texas that they're trying to take away. So, okay, now let's talk about, this is the huge one. We can probably talk for 2 hours on this, but immigration. Since Biden got in, it's been a complete train wreck. He stopped the construction of the wall. It's every day. It's such a nightmare crisis down there, and no one's doing anything about it. So what do we do? Let's talk about the immigration, what's going on down there.
The Biden administration, they're failing. They're getting worse and worse and worse. Now they see it. The polls that went out on the AP, they showed that over 50% of Americans disagree with how he's handling it. Now they're scrambling. What is he doing? He's backtracking. He said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe we should put up that wall. Maybe I was wrong." Right? You look at the humanitarian issue that's going on down there. You saw the pictures of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old getting tossed over the side of a bridge. I have 6 kids. I have a 5-year-old. I can't imagine that. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it because it's so disheartening to see what is going on. You see children underneath a bridge laying on the ground in dirt with fire ants and rattlesnakes, right next to them. We have a major issue down there. None of the other candidates I'm running against have gone down there. Kamala Harris hasn't gone there. Joe Biden hasn't gone down there. Heck, President Trump went down there. We just go to look at it. But what do we do to fix it? What's the solution?
Yeah.
You have all these candidates, you have all these Congress talk about it too. We need to fix it, Well, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I was able to meet with a number of the angel moms. And angel moms are mothers that had their kids killed, taken from them by illegal aliens.
Yeah.
And I get choked up because I talked to these moms and they told me their stories of, there's one mother, Marie, they're just fishing on the side on the river right there, and 2 illegal aliens came over, right, shot their son, killed him in front of her grandkids, shot her husband, took their four-wheel drive vehicle, took off in it, and they weren't caught. And it's so upsetting to see this issue and knowing that we have all these people coming over. So I told mothers, I said, you guys have really touched me, and I promise you the first thing I do when I get to Congress is I'm going to codify President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy into law, and we're going to call it the Angel Act.
That's awesome. I mean, again, it's such logic, right? We talked a little bit before the show started. This is about common sense stuff, like how now the Democrats don't want the wall. Biden stopped construction. President Trump said it would have taken like literally less than a month to finish it, and yet now they've stopped it, and now they're still pouring over. Yet all the people that are opposing it, the Democrats, they've all got walls around their house, right? We can talk about gun control later.
We have a wall around D.C.
Yeah,
like
right?
in the commercial, we have a wall around D.C., but we don't have a wall protecting our...
It's asinine, right? And so how do you fix it? Well, that's the first step, right? Finish the friggin' wall, yet it's just so hypocritical to see what's going on there. They're anti-gun, but they all got, private security with guns. They don't want the wall, but they got walls around their homes. They got walls around D.C. now. It's just so ludicrous, right? So that's why we need people like you to get up there and just, again, start knocking some heads. And there's like, what's the other congresswoman there? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Someone like that. She, again, more people like that, like you, that get up there, they say, look, let's freaking work together, make it common sense, and fix this crap. And as we talked again before the show, there's more things that unite us than divide us. You had a really cool story. You want to share a little bit about that, where you gave the speech, and there's some woman who said, I got a bunch of questions for you. And so give me a couple of those stories, because those are really, really great.
Well, it's about bringing folks together.
Yeah.
And being Republicans, I talk to folks and I say, you got to reach across the aisle. You got to talk to the other folks. And they're like, I can't. Yeah. It's so frustrating because they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put it in terminology that's, you use logic and use reasoning, and you talk about the issues that they're having personally and how it can affect them. People vote on two things: their family and their pocketbook. Mm-hmm. And when it starts affecting them eventually, they're going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And talking in front of groups of Republicans, it's easy. They're going to vote for me. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You're not going to get the Democrats. They're hard. And I love going into a room of 100. This particular situation was about 100 Democrat mothers.
Yeah.
And I do my speech, right? And I try to do the WWE political speech. To get everybody excited. They were. But I saw one woman, and she was sitting in the corner. She's taking notes, and I'm watching her, and I'm all done with the speech. She raises her hand. She says, "I have a few questions for you." I said, "All right, shoot." She goes, "First question: AR-15s. You believe in AR-15s, which kill everybody. There's no reason for them." And I said, "Well, ma'am, I have 6 kids. Do you have any children?" She said, "Yeah, I have 3 kids." I said, "Okay." He said, "Do you have a handgun by chance to protect your kids?" She's like, "Well, not that it's any of your business, but yes, I do. I have a 9mm. I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, here's the deal. I'm a constitutional conservative. The minute they take away your AR-15, then they're going to come back and try to take away your handgun. And now you can't protect your kids."
Yeah.
And she looked at me, she's like, "All right, fine. I agree with you there." And then she started hitting me. She said, "Oh, I have another question on immigration, the wall." She goes, "Well, you're a racist because you want the wall and this, you don't want, people coming over." I said, no, I don't want. I believe in, waiting in line, and we have processes and procedures right now for that. But I don't believe in people coming over illegally. That's why we call it legal alien. And I say legal alien.
Yeah.
People, you can't say that. You have to say, But I told her, I said, you said you have kids, and do you want, drug dealers and drug smugglers and drug traffickers and a sanctuary city in your backyard for your children? Because that's who's going to affect. It's going to affect your kids. Yeah. You want that. You want crime around your children. She said, "No." She goes, "Fine, I agree with you there." And she goes, "Well," she looks at me and she goes, "Well, school choice. You believe in taking away money from the education system." I said, no. I said, I don't care if you're black, white, red, green, male, female, rich, or poor. I believe every child deserves the right to a great education, don't you?
Yeah.
She said, yeah. And I said, you have 3 kids. Don't you want your kids to have the opportunity to go to the best possible school that you pick? Parents' choice. Yeah. She's like, yeah. She goes, fine, I agree with you there. And then she looked at me, last one, this was the one. I couldn't argue. She said, well, pro-life. You don't believe in women's rights for their bodies. And I said, man, I got 6 kids. I'm the poster boy for pro-life, okay?
Yeah.
And I said, but here's the deal. I said, I do not believe, obviously the government should be paying for abortions. She goes, well, I disagree with you there. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, look, here's the deal. Let's pretend like we're not Republican, we're not Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, anything. Let's just pretend like you're a parent and you have to pick the candidate that's best for you and your family.
Yeah.
Now, you agreed with me on 3 things. You disagreed with me on 1. Who's the best person to fight to protect your kids? She looked at me and she goes, fine, I'll vote for you. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't just her.
Yeah.
It was all those women that were in that room at the time.
Yeah.
And that's how we reach over. That's how we talk to folks. We don't fight with them. We don't argue with them. We just talk about how these issues relate to their family and how we can fix them together. Yeah. Some folks say to me, they say, Dan, are you going to reach across the aisle when you get there? Are you going to work with Democrats? My response is, I will be the first person to co-sponsor a Democrat bill if it's an America First policy. Mm-hmm. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll reach across then.
Yes, no problem.
All right, now let's talk about this. Now, talk about what's going on with the gun reform, right? Again, Biden, he's wanting to start taking away some guns and restricting all this. So let's talk about that, how that affects Texans. Obviously, Texas, we want our guns. We want to have our Second Amendment. So talk about that.
So, I see all these issues coming up. That's why we did our first, commercial to get us out there. The second one with immigration, we have a commercial dropping today at 5 p.m. so you guys can watch. It's going to be another viral video about the border. On Friday, we have a gun one coming out. So I knew guns was going to be the next. I knew Joe Biden was going to say, look over here at the guns instead of looking over here at the immigration issue.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a gun one coming out on Friday. With reading with what Biden wants to do, it's not logical. You say, okay, he wants to hold the gun manufacturers responsible if a criminal shoots somebody with that gun.
Yeah.
So does that mean if, with that type of logic, if somebody stabs somebody, now there's a lot more stabbings than there are gun shootings, right? Mm-hmm. So, would we be able to sue the knife companies if somebody decided to stab me?
Yeah.
Would we be able to sue Ford Motor Company if somebody decides to plow down a bunch of people for no apparent reason? Is that Ford manufacturing? So the logic just doesn't work.
Yep.
It's they always say, everybody's heard it. Guns don't kill people. Don't kill people. We want the good people to be able to have guns, to be able to protect their families.
Yeah, you need that because, again, you get robbed, someone breaks in your house, you're going to call 911. What's the response time? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Yeah. You don't have that, especially when you have kids. You have a family to protect. You need to have that right. That's the most basic. But as you said, once they take away one, then they got their foot in the door. Then it's like, oh, let's take away this. Let's restrict this. Let's do that. Because they're not going to stop at one.
They're not going to stop at one. And right now, with everything that's going through, I talked to a bunch of gun stores. Before, you couldn't get bullets, right? Because all this was happening, you couldn't get bullets. Now you can't get guns. Mm-hmm. You can't get parts for guns. And, this is a basic constitutional freedom. Second Amendment right is for us to be able to protect ourselves and have guns. Yeah. And they're slowly trying to take it away. And it comes down to a voice to be able to get the word out there to say, hey, this is nonsensical. Yeah. This ideology is wrong, and this is why. Yeah. And like on Friday, hey, we got a great commercial coming out. I'll give you a hint. I'm going to give you a little taste of it. Helicopters and machine guns.
There you go.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a doozy. Hopefully all the social media platforms don't kick me off. But that's how we get the word out there with these issues with guns.
Yeah.
And, Joe Biden is is really, he's not looking out for the best of our country right now.
Yeah, 100% agree. Now, what about, so you see the people, some of the Republicans now that have that reluctance to embrace, President Trump's policies that were so successful. Now it's like they seem like they're running away from that, which doesn't make sense to me.
I am an America First policy guy. I will always have President Trump's back because I believe in what he did. He was the guy was a successful businessman. He ran the country like a business. He looked at the problems. He said, look, we need to fix them this way and this way. And we're going to, by doing it, it's going to piss off a lot of people. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say pissed. Sorry.
Totally
didn't
can.
mean to say. But he'd look at the issues and he'd say, well, we're going to cut the fat here. We're going to cut the fat here.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that. We need to go back to having the highest GDP, the lowest unemployment rates, for African American, Latino, Asian, across the board.
Yeah.
He was doing something right. I mean, that goes into all these issues. People wonder how you're going to fix the Social Security issue. Well, if you have more people producing, that's what happened in the 50s. We had a ton of people producing. And then, now fast forward 2017, they show the new numbers. All of a sudden went from 100 people producing to, originally it was 15 people on Social Security. Now it's 100 people producing to, double that, 35. And by 2050, they're saying it's going to be up to almost 50 people. For every 100 people producing, 50 people are going to be getting Social Security. Yeah. So they say, oh, if you cut this, you cut that. No, you go back to, it all comes down to the GDP. You get people to work, you get people good educations, and people can prosper. And if we prosper, our country can get over all these issues. And then we don't have, we pay down this national debt. President Trump has done a lot of great things. The Remain in Mexico policy was one of them. Yeah. We need to go back to that. We need to go back to boosting our economy the way President Trump was doing it, and get people back to work. With this pandemic right now, the longer we hand out checks to everybody, the harder it's going to get. The deeper we're going to get.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just before I forget too, going back to immigration real quick, one of the other things that really upsets me, and again, it's my show, I can say pissed, it pisses me off. I'm Canadian. So I remember when I went down to grad school in Georgia, right? And then for me to stay here in the US, I remember all the hoops and the crap and the money I had to spend on attorneys to actually be able to stay here legally. And I was from Canada, going to college, getting a job as a doctor to actually provide and actually do a job. Not just come up here, jump over the wall or whatever, and just, okay, give me a handout. And they're giving them all this stuff. I mean, what's going on? I mean, for people that actually waited in line, like you talked about, did it the right way, they're pissed. It's like, hey, wait a minute. It's like people now that, again, Democrats want to get rid of all student loan debt. Well, what about the people like me that busted my ass 4 nights a week for 8 years? So I only had 20 grand of student loan debt versus 250 grand. Do I get my 230 grand back that I saved?
Yeah.
If you're going to wipe out everybody else's, it's just the logic is so crazy, right? But that's just real quick dovetail on that.
Those are things we got to get rid of. I mean, merit-based immigration system. Yeah. Let's get rid of the chain migration and the the lottery visa program. This is insane.
Yeah.
You want to come over, and I understand that some people, they're running for their lives to come over here, and that's fine. That's fine. Wait for your court date.
Yeah.
In Mexico, before you come over. I mean, we're leasing, here in Dallas. Dallas, we talked about it earlier. Performing arts centers are shut down for a year because of COVID. Yeah. All of a sudden, now we're housing illegal aliens in there, in Dallas, right in our backyard, right here, in Midland, in San Antonio, $70 million a month in hotel rooms. I mean, who's that affecting?
Yeah.
It's affecting the folks that are watching the show right now. It's affecting their wallet.
Yeah, and I get immigration. I'm pro-immigration. I know you are too, but
course.
Do it the right way, right?
Absolutely.
I did it the right way. I did it legally because I wanted to come from Canada because I know I had a better opportunity down here than staying in Canada. Not to mention the weather, way better. But that's why I came, but I did it legally. And so again, Trump, I know you are as well. Do it, but do it the right way. Do it legally and bring him in merit-based. It's just so simple. But we need somebody who's got some stones to get up there and say, wow, okay, let's work together, get this done. Now, one thing I really loved about you, Dan, why I wanted to come on the show is because I saw that first viral ad that you made. Literally, no kidding, man. I'm 57. That is the best freaking campaign ad I've ever seen out of anybody, even like any one that President Trump did. If you haven't seen it, we're going to actually show it right now. We're going to kind of put in that video. Great. So go ahead and watch that, and then we're going to come back because you said you got a couple more that are being released, which are going to be awesome. So let's go jump to that video right now.
3 dirtiest jobs in the world: professional wrestling, politician, and bull riding. Let's go, boys!
We call that bull Nancy Pelosi. It's the beast.
Now that's Texas tough, baby. 2 out of 3 dirty jobs done. I'm Big Dan Rodimer. Texas has big problems. We need a big fighter to solve those problems. The communists in D.C. are ruining America. We have a big problem. Texas, send Big Dan to Congress. I know how to handle Nancy Pelosi and stop her bull. And I'll put a boot right in her socialist platform. Well, it looks like I already did. Men and women's bathrooms, boys and girls sports, higher taxes, higher gas prices. They're building a wall around D.C., but they're not protecting our borders. They're laughing at us. Now they're gonna try to take away our guns?
Oh, hell no!
I moved my family of 7 back to Texas because I wanted to raise my kids in a constitutional-friendly state. Here in Texas, we are free. We live free. We are a threat to those in power. They hate Texas. They hate our way of life. The communists in D.C. want to shut down our churches, close our businesses, indoctrinating our children, communism in our classrooms, make our daughters unsafe in sports and school, destroy American borders and our American history. We must stop them. Hire me to represent you, and I'll go to D.C. and kick some left-wing ass.
Voters in the Texas 6th Congressional District, vote Big Dan in the special election. I'll fight for you and the Texas way of life. Let's make America Texas again.
I'm Dan Rodimer, and I approve this message.
Okay. I can't watch that enough. Riding Nancy Pelosi. I mean, come on. That's so freaking hilarious. I can't wait to see the other ones you have coming out. And that's the thing. It's like showing to have that kind of guts and the fighter attitude. I know that's what Texans really appreciate that. They might not like that in the Northeast, but believe me, down here they do. And we need fighters like you. So just lastly, before we close, kind of just give us a little bit more kind of insight on just the energy your campaign is created, because again, videos like that are incredible, Big Dan, and I can feel that energy, and we need that. So kind of explain some of that to us.
Well, you know, the only way you can build a party and get people more involved is for them to listen, right? Yeah. And if they don't want to listen, if they don't want to hear your voice, then you're not going to get them to come out. Mm-hmm. So I try to make politics fun. I mean, heck, we got a WWE type show in Mansfield on Saturday. A huge show. I mean, they have free wrestling. But that's going to bring Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, everybody there. Yeah. And I'll get up there and I'll talk about the issues, right? We went on CNN over that commercial because people are like, you didn't ride the bull. I'm like, I actually rode the bull. Well, you didn't ride the bull. I was like, well, you know what? The issue is, the people here in Texas, they don't really give a crap if I rode a bull or not. You know what they give a crap about? Our borders, our guns, their paychecks. That's what they care about. But you know what it is? It gives you a platform. Yeah. And a lot of those issues on there, heck, they didn't want me to, the production team, my team, they're like, Dan, I don't know if you should say communism in the classrooms. Yeah. Well, why not? Yeah. Why can't I say boys and girls bathrooms, men and women's sports? Why can't I talk about these issues? Because these are issues, right? Yeah. And the far left doesn't want to talk about it. So how do we get to go on to these networks? Yeah. And my team's like, we don't want you on CNN, Dan. Like, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I want to go on, these stations because it's the only way we're going to convey the message. So, every week I'm going to come out with new ones. When I become a congressman, I'm going to have a whole entire team that just makes, the issues, and they put it into a video that people can relate to and understand it. I mean, that video, 17 million people are telling me have seen it. Plus everybody who saw it on TV, and it gets it out there. And the one that they released tonight, it's the one that we released tonight is a very serious one. It's not it's not a funny ha-ha. It's a very serious one with the mothers, the angel moms, and obviously the angel act that we're putting together. The one that's coming out on Friday is a little bit more. It's a little more fun. Yeah. But it talks about our gun issue, because that's what's coming up next. Our gun issue, and it all comes down to a big voice. And this is what I tell the folks in our district right now. Mm-hmm. When I get up there and I talk, all the other candidates, they bash me, they attack me. Yeah. Oh, Dan didn't write about Dan moved back to Texas. Well, who wouldn't want to move back to Texas? I love Texas. I lived here. This is my home. Yeah. And I went to law school. And after law school, it took me away from Texas, but now I came back. Yeah. I want to raise my kids in a constitutional friendly state. If they want to attack me on this and that, well, you know who I was attacking? I believe in Reagan's 11th commandment. I don't, thou shalt not attack other Republicans. Yeah. So I didn't attack them. I attacked Nancy Pelosi on CNN. I attacked Joe Biden on Fox. I attacked Kamala Harris on Newsmax. I attacked Pete Buttigieg about riding his little bicycle, on Inside Edition. But it gave me a platform to do that. But it wasn't my voice. It was the people in this district. It's their voice. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to do when we get to Congress. We're gonna go up there and we're gonna be that messenger. And I tell the folks in our district, I say, hey, look, this particular district, Texas District 6, in 2012, Mitt Romney won it by 17 points. 2016, President Trump won it by 12. In 2020, President Trump only won it by 3. Yeah. Now we're losing the district. Yeah. We are losing the district. If you don't think the Democrats are coming for that district, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. They're coming after it. They're gunning for it. Yeah. And the rate it's going right now, we're going to lose it. If you keep doing the same old thing with the same old people, pitching the same old message. Yeah. Do you want a national candidate? Let me ask you this. If Jim Jordan wanted to move down to this district and run for Congress, Jim Jordan, would you vote for him?
Yeah. If you weren't running.
Yeah, thank you. If a Dan Crenshaw with a big voice, if a Donald Trump Jr. decided to move in and run for Congress, would you vote for him?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's got a big voice, because he can get things accomplished.
Exactly. And
he can fight the good fight. And that's what this district wants. So I tell folks, hey, if you like Jim Jordan, if you like Dan Crenshaw, you like Donald Trump Jr., you're going to love me. Because I'm going to be that same big voice. And I'll be the biggest voice in District 6. And I'll probably be the biggest voice in Texas. Because the fact is everything's bigger in Texas. I think it's time for a Texas-sized congressman.
There you go. Absolutely. Now, again, you're an unconventional guy, and that's why I wanted you on. Now, real quick, I don't know the latest count, but how many people are going for that seat on May 1st?
23 people.
23. Right, so
Republican, Democrat, Independent.
President Trump had a lot of people up against him when he was going in the primary too, and he won. So keep holding to your guns, man. I'm excited to have you on. And for people that are watching this right now, you can go to www.danrodimer.com. Get more information about his campaign. You can donate there, see what's going on. Are the new videos going to be up there for people to watch too?
The new one's going to be up tonight.
Okay.
With the border, and then Friday we'll have the big gun one, which will be a lot of fun. Okay. And if you're around this weekend, 4 p.m. down in Mansfield, right on the main street right there, we're going to have a free WWE-style wrestling show with Kane from the WWE. Mayor Glenn Jacobs will be out there too, so please come on out.
All right. Thanks a lot, Big Dan. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching this episode. Go to that website, danrodimer.com, to get more information. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day.